Deep within this industrial facility, raw bison hides begin their transformation into the world's most luxurious leather. Forklift operators carefully unload the heavy pallets, moving them toward the intake section of the factory floor. Workers cut the bindings on the hide stacks, revealing the rough and salt-covered surfaces of skins. Inspectors examine every inch of the raw hide, looking for brand marks, scars, or deep insect damage.
Hides are tossed into a large rotating drum to shake off the excess preservation salt and dirt. Excess salt is collected and shoveled onto a conveyor belt for recycling and reuse in other industries.
Precise weight measurements determine the exact chemical ratios needed for the upcoming soaking and cleaning process stages.
Hides are loaded into massive wooden drums filled with water and specialized cleaning surfactants for initial soaking. The large drums rotate, slowly tumbling the hides to rehydrate the fibers and wash away remaining debris. Technicians check the pliability of the wet hides, ensuring they have absorbed enough moisture for the fleshing. A fleshing machine uses sharp, rotating blades to strip away excess fat and tissue from the underside. The blades scrape the hide clean, leaving a smooth and uniform surface, essential for high-quality leather. Cleaned hides are transported back to the drums for the liming process, which removes hair and keratin.
Chemical agents are added to the solution to dissolve hair follicles and swell the collagen fiber structure.
Drums rotate for several hours, ensuring the chemical solution penetrates deep into the thick bison hide structure. The hides emerge from the liming drums, swollen, hairless, and white, ready for the next critical phase. A splitting machine separates the valuable top grain layer from the bottom split layer with extreme precision. The blade slices horizontally through the hide, creating two distinct sheets of material with different texture qualities. Top grain layers are collected and sent immediately for deliming to lower the pH balance of skins.
Hides are washed in drums with ammonium sulfate to neutralize the lime and soften the collagen fibers.
A worker checks the cross-section using a chemical indicator to ensure the proper neutralization level exists. The pickling process adds acid and salt to preserve the hides before the actual tanning agents apply. The hides turn a slightly different color as they absorb the acidic pickling solution into their fibers. Tanning agents are introduced to the drum, turning the water a distinct color as the chemical reaction starts. Vigorous rotation drives the tanning agents into the collagen, making the material durable and resistant to decay. The hides, now called wet blue due to the chrome tanning process, are unloaded from the drums. Workers stack the wet blue hides on pallets, smoothing them out to prevent any permanent creases forming. A hydraulic sammying machine squeezes excess water out of the wet blue hides like a giant wringer. Pressed hides are inspected again for thickness and quality before moving to the next stage of processing. Hides are fed into a shaving machine to ensure a completely uniform thickness across the entire skin. Dust and shavings fly into a vacuum system as the machine levels the leather to the millimeter.
Shaved hides are weighed again to calculate the exact amount of dye and oil needed for retanning.
Hides return to a clean drum for retanning, dyeing, and fat liquoring, which adds essential oils for softness.
Concentrated dye is poured into the drum, turning the water a rich color that penetrates the fiber.
Specialized oils are added to lubricate the fibers, preventing the leather from drying out and cracking later.
The drum spins for hours while heat is applied to help the dye fix to the leather. Dyed hides are unloaded now, showing their final base color. and draped over large wooden horses carefully. Workers spread the hides on a setting machine to stretch them flat and remove any remaining wrinkles. Hides feed through felt rollers that squeeze out remaining water and smooth the grain surface for drying. Hides are clipped onto a toggle drying frame, stretched taut to prevent shrinking during the drying phase. The frames move into a large drying tunnel with carefully controlled temperature and humidity levels for consistency. As the hides move through the tunnel, moisture evaporates, causing the leather to stabilize and stiffen slightly. Workers remove the dried hides from the toggle frames, stacking the stiff sheets on carts for softening. Stiff hides are fed into a staking machine, which mechanically massages the fibers to restore their flexibility. Rapidly moving pins beat the leather, transforming it from a stiff board into a soft, pliable fabric.
Softened hides are placed into a dry milling drum to tumble and further refine the grain texture.
The tumbling action inside the drum enhances the natural pebbled grain pattern unique to bison leather hides. Workers unload the milled leather, which is now incredibly soft and displays a distinct pebbled visual character. Hides are transported to the finishing department, where they are hung on a conveyor line for coating. An automatic spray gun applies a base coat of finish to seal the surface and unify color.
Conveyor moves the hides through a high-temperature drying oven to cure the base coat instantly.
A second coat is applied, adding a specific glossy or matte finish, depending on the customer specifications.
Some hides run through an embossing press to correct or enhance the uniformity of the grain pattern.
A heated plate presses onto the leather surface, leaving a perfect and consistent texture pattern behind it.
Finished leather sheets are taken to final inspection tables situated under bright color correcting lights for grading. Inspectors circle any remaining defects with chalk and assign a specific quality grade to each individual hide.
An electronic measuring machine scans the hide to calculate the exact square footage of usable material available.
The graded hides are rolled up and stored on racks ready for shipment or internal cutting processes. On the manufacturing floor, designers work on digital sketches of luxury bags and jackets using the leather.
A digital cutting machine receives the design file, and a laser projects the pattern onto the leather.
A worker carefully positions the hide to avoid the chalk-marked defects, optimizing the yield of material.
The automated cutter slices through the thick bison leather with incredible speed and sub-millimeter cutting precision.
Workers collect the cut pieces, sorting them into bundles destined for specific products, like jackets or bags. The edges of the cut leather pieces are skived down to allow for easy folding and stitching. Precision machinery shaves off a thin layer of the leather edge, ensuring a clean and bulk-free seam. Pieces move to the assembly line, where artisans apply adhesive to the edges for preliminary structural bonding.
A worker folds the glued edge over and hammers it flat to create a smooth, professional hem.
Sewing machine operators stitch the panels together, feeding the thick leather under heavy-duty needles with care. The needle pierces the tough bison leather, creating a perfectly straight and durable stitch line every time. Workers assemble the interior lining, attaching zippers and pockets, before inserting it into the main leather body.
The leather shell is turned inside out to hide the seams, revealing the final shape of the bag. A craftsman uses a hand tool to push out the corners, making them sharp and aesthetically defined.
Metal hardware like buckles and rivets are attached using a manual press to secure them in place. A brass logo is riveted onto the front of the product, signifying the brand's mark of quality. Edge paint is applied by hand to the raw edges of handles for a sealed and polished look. Handles are dried, sanded, and painted again to ensure a perfectly smooth and durable edge finish result. On the jacket line, workers attach the sleeves to the main body, ensuring alignment of the grain.
A heavy-duty zipper is installed on the front of the jacket, tested for smooth, reliable operation.
The jacket is placed on a mannequin form to check the fit and natural drape of leather.
Inspectors trim any loose threads by hand with small scissors, ensuring a flawless presentation for the customer.
A final conditioning cream is rubbed into the leather products to protect the surface and enhance shine. Workers buff the leather with a soft cloth to remove any fingerprints or dust from the surface. Finished bags are stuffed with tissue paper to maintain their shape and structure during the shipping process.
Each item is placed into a branded dust bag made of soft cotton to prevent scratches during transit.
The dust-bagged items are placed into sturdy boxes emblazoned with the company logo for final presentation. A certificate of authenticity and a care instruction card are added to certify the origin of materials. Boxes are taped shut and labeled with shipping addresses destined for luxury retail customers around the world. Pallets of finished goods are loaded onto a delivery truck, completing the cycle of production and distribution.
From raw hides to premium fashion, and these Bison leather products represent the pinnacle of durability and style.
The unique grain texture of the Bison leather ensures that no two pieces are exactly the same.
Designed for longevity, and these garments are built to withstand the elements while maintaining a sophisticated aesthetic appeal.
The scale of this operation combines traditional tanning methods with modern technology to produce superior leather goods.
At the end of the shift, workers clean the machines, preparing the facility for the next cycle.